Hello everybody, welcome to Mad Red United. This is the Inter United podcast number 10. We are in double figures now, live Sunday night with an esteemed panel of guests. I'll introduce them all one by one actually myself. A little bit of an intro, a la Joshua's intro last night. To my right, to my left, whichever way you guys are looking at it. Yeah, it's Man, it's Stadiums for Ants, Dave. Currently working on, am I right? Is it Olympic Marseille as the next model, Dave?
Yeah, no, we're actually so it went up. You know, usually I do like raffles. This one's an auction for their official Christmas Foundation week, and it actually ends in a couple of minutes here. So
nice one. Quality. And far corner right, he's had a busy day. Shoveled any snow today, Tim, mate, over there in Canada?
I'm shoveling something, mate, but it's not snow.
He's shoveling cans into him, and that's what he's doing.
Okay, right. Tim has had a mare of a day, people. Don't know if you already guessed that, but down below me is my man, Owen. You've seen fans in the stadiums, mate. It's all going on. It's getting closer, pal. We've actually been able to apply for the game against Leeds, mate.
I've applied.
I'm buzzing. I know. Other than that, mate, good weekend, pal. We'll talk about the football in a minute. Forget about that for now. Has it been a good one?
Yeah, it's been all right, to be honest. Nice chilled out day yesterday. Didn't go out on a Saturday night. I am drinking a Guinness now, but
sweet.
Just a bit chilled out one this weekend.
Yep. Next in line there, everyone knows this man. United Central, 25k man. Saeed's in the house. How you doing, my man? You okay?
Yeah, but I'm not too bad, mate. You know what I mean? Just chilling out.
Yeah. Looks cold there where you are, mate. Looks cold in Manchester.
Oh, man, it's just terrible weather.
Central heating gone in Russia. Is that what's happened, is it?
Listen, central heating, Wi-Fi, everything, mate. It's all going downhill.
Nice.
Like our football club.
Just as I was about to introduce
Mary, come on. Let's not be too negative.
She's dropped the bomb straight away. But Mary, other than everything else, which we'll get into in a minute, how are you doing?
Doing good. All my Christmas
good.
shopping done, dusted, ready to go.
Are you an organised person for Christmas, Mary? Everything done and dusted and wrapped?
Done. Not wrapped, but done.
Yes. The hard bit's done. The hard labour's done, innit, Mary? That's it. Just got the fun bit of wrapping everything. Oh God, no, thank you. That is horrible.
Even started
the pits.
Okay, let's get into the show. Also, everyone tonight who's joining us on Periscope as well, it's linked into this live stream as well. Thank you for joining us through that as well as everyone and all my members and all the usual clientele from YouTube. Welcome to the show. Number 10 on the podcast. So, before we start, I'm just going to quickly get into something and get something off my chest. Just to do this, I'm just going to change things up a minute. Oh, look at all the little people. Oh, don't they look all cute down the side? Right, guys.
Here's this.
Yeah.
Poor old Dave. He's got you.
I'm hiding behind Adam's logo. I think I look a lot more handsome.
Arms crossed.
Looks like an episode of the Brady Bunch.
I'm going to bring them all back in a minute. Don't worry, guys. Firstly, I just want to make an announcement from Mad Red United. Breaking news. Adam wants to say something. That's pretty much it. So let's get into it. So people on Twitter, people who DM, people who go on all the time about me changing and being different than what I was before. Let me just explain what that means. All that means is I don't say the things that you want me to say. That's that. That's simple. That's all that is. Nothing's changed. I'm still exactly the same person. Chill your bean, calm down, and actually do a little bit of watching instead of looking at titles and looking at certain clips that other people have put out, okay? And as far as being negative, I think this is the most positive show on YouTube because I don't see wanting our football club to do better than what they are doing as a negative. I think that's the most positive thing in the world. So when you look at yourselves and you think these guys here all talking out their asses apparently, going on being negative, well, I actually think that you're the negative ones for accepting this type of football. So have a little think about what you actually say before you say it, and then actually come back with some constructive, or let's say debating. I wouldn't say arguing because you all hide behind your keyboards, but you know what I mean? That's it, and just roll with
Keyboard
it.
warrior with a photo of a Man United player. That's what it is.
That's it, mate.
That's it. But this is it, guys. Take it for what it is. Everyone's got an opinion, and you know what? We're not always going to agree with you. So if you think that's someone changing or getting a little bit ahead of themselves, then no, it's not. It's you guys wanting things said your way. So pretty much you're talking about yourself, really, aren't you? And there's nothing negative at all about this. We want the best for this football club. And that, for me, is the ultimate positive that you can get. Positives, we're in short supply, guys. Let's be honest. Right, come on. Where's that good screen gone that I just had now? I just had a real. There it is. That was a tame.
That was a tame rant. That was a tame rant by me standards.
That was so tame.
Yeah, but
like I could see Mary with like just wanting to jump in and.
Hey, no, I've not even got into the team yet. I'm being nice to people. I've not got into the team yet.
No, but as you're bang on, because none of out of the six of us, we'll all have different views on it. We need to be able to respect each other's views and have an actual discussion about it, as opposed to just being some little cunt on Twitter with a photo of Anthony Martial on their thing.
It just got serious.
It's a term of endearment. It's not that bad. But it's just if you disagree with someone, have a conversation about it and try and see their point of view. Don't just go and just fob them off and say that they're being negative, trying to monetize it.
And also, if you ask them for their opinion and you say, do you want to come on? More times that, 9 times out of 10, they'll decline it. And that's the thing.
Won't.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you got
because there's probably some butters geezer hiding behind a photo of Anthony Martial. That's why.
That's it, guys. This is it. We don't know who these people are.
You don't know, mate. It could be them. You know what I mean? 52-year-old man just like in his, in his pajamas. You don't know who it is. You know what I mean?
In your postman pat.
Oh, you're talking about me? These aren't my pajamas.
What's wrong with being in your 40s or 50s and being in your pajamas, mate?
See? We just watched
there's nothing wrong with being in pajamas, by the way, but I'm just making a point.
Right. Okay, we gotta be careful now because Saeed's pink toys will come out again. So.
Oh man.
Okay, right. We just watched the worst Manchester derby in history. I think we've managed to all have a laugh and have a bit of a giggle before we've even got into it. Owen's had enough already. I just mentioned the derby and he's gone. So let's talk about the derby. I mean, I've not spoke to any of you guys particularly on what happened yesterday. So I'm just going to come to you one by one and see exactly what you thought. I mean, Mary, I know you've been on doing a few videos recently over the last 24 hours, I would say. I've seen you pop up a few times on my phone there. So how did it pan out yesterday for you? How did you see that? Some people are saying it's good that we were solid in defence. Not me. And some people are saying, you know what, I expect more. And Roy Keane spoke for me yesterday and how I felt. A lot of people are saying that was back in the day. But we can still keep the same standards, surely, can't we?
This is my whole thing. What is the expectation and the standards of this football club? What is it? If you're happy with that yesterday, I honest to God, go follow somebody else. Because, context is everything. And for me, you have to look at it with context. Sometimes that would have been a good point. But if you're telling me we just got dumped out embarrassingly out of the Champions League and we're in the Europa League and that's a good point, get out. If you're telling me this is the worst Man City team in 5 years and that was a good point, get out. We're better than them this season, they're below us. They've been absolutely terrible this season. They came yesterday, they were afraid. They didn't even barely attack us. Pep played negatively. It's different if they were firing. It's different if we were behind or they battered us for the game or we needed a point to win the league. I would have said that was a good point. But we've already lost how many games at home this season? We'd only taken 4 points from a possible 15 before yesterday's game. So we've only taken 5 points from 18 at home in the league this season. We're already so many points behind. And you're telling me that was a good point. And we could have won that game in the last 20 minutes. It was cowardly from the manager. He played not to get sacked as opposed to win the game. And no, We slated Louis van Gaal for being negative. We slated Louis van Gaal for sidey passes. And that was exactly what Ollie was doing yesterday. They were there for the take, and he couldn't see it with 20 minutes to go. Made one sub and didn't bring Donny on. For me, it was 2 points dropped. And we showed no passion, no fight. It was a Manchester derby. Give me Raphael in Tevez's face any day over Maguire hugging John Stones. You can get out with that crap, and you can get out with your lack of
Wi-Fi
ambition,
signal's going in Cork, isn't it?
I want my football club to be winning and to be competing for the title, not competing for top four. If you want to accept that mediocrity, go support somebody else.
Man, I mean, Mary spoken there from an old school United fan and not letting standards drop, Saeed, mate. So, I mean, I'm guessing you're in a similar sort of, well, you're thinking exactly the same thing I would have been thinking, mate.
Yeah. You know what, man? Big up Mary, man. You know what I'm saying? She said everything there that I needed to say. You know what, mate? 90 minutes I can't get back. And you know what it is for me? There's a lot of people saying, look at the positives, but I just don't see them, man. I really don't, because for me, it's 3 games now at home where he's not gone for it. And that's why I always say, where's the stopgap? Where is the ambition as Ollie? Like, what does he want as a manager? You know what I mean? The mentality is all wrong for me. And I keep saying it, you know, if this is Mourinho, and a lot of people say, well, Mourinho would have parked the bus, but I think at one point, mate, listen, I see Paul Pogba at left back, you know what I mean? Like, I see Bruno Fernandes tracking back at right mid, you know what I mean? These are things that I'm thinking, like, you know what, man? You know, we're at home. There's an emphasis of Man United here to push on. And last season, when we had James up front, I understood it because, you know what? Man City are playing better than that time. We were on this. We were downhill. You know what I mean? We needed that 3 points. But I look at that game and I thought, Ollie, for me, bottled it, man. He really did, man. And that is, for me, a manager who doesn't believe in himself. And that is absolutely simple as that, man. If he went for that game, listen, I've seen David Silva, you know what I mean, Aguero in his prime, you know what I mean, company, come and tear us apart, mate. This was not a City team that I thought, wow. Maybe De Bruyne or his day, maybe Mahrez can give a game, but I thought, sure, Wan-Bissaka, I'm confident in them to defend. I thought, you know what, that midfield, okay, we could get out running there, but I never thought to myself, they're gonna tear us apart. And I think for me, what Ollie did do, he didn't assess the game. In moments, you have to assess the game. Okay, first 25 minutes, they're not coming at us. Right, what can we do to counterattack that? He didn't do that. After 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, you know what I mean? Not even Donny van der Beek to change the game. That is when you knew. You know what I mean? For me, the startling point was when Martial came on. He did not have an impact on the game, man. That just shows you everything you need to know about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is that he just told Martial, listen, cover the ground, cover the grass here, and just keep us in the game, because that's all we want. And for me, you're never going to get anywhere, man. And that's why I said today, man, Dortmund sat the manager 5 points behind, you know what I mean, Bayern Munich. But what have they said to themselves? You know what? There's a chance for us to win the league. There's a chance for us to get somewhere this season. We're not going to allow mediocrity. And they've sacked him. Still in the Champions League, still in most of the league. And I just think, for me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if you're happy with top 4, keep him. But more than that, then we're not getting it. And that, for me, is the eventual what I think that Man United should be. For me, United should win the league this year. When you look at that table, when you look at the squad and Liverpool, the way they play, no Van Dijk, injuries after injury. They played Henderson at centre-back today. We can win this league, guys. We can win this league. But the biggest but is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that's about it.
Anyone who says that we're not positive in this one, Saeed just said United are going to win the league if they play the right way.
What noise was that there? Can I just...
Tim's got company.
Tim's got it.
Owen, I'm coming to you next, mate. In terms of the derbies and how many derbies you've watched in your lifetime as a United fan, where did that one rank yesterday, mate?
Mate, dead bottom. It was one of the what I've watched like yourselves. I'll watch any game of football. I'm happy to I'll go and watch non-league, anything. That was one of the worst games of fucking football I've ever watched. It was just dreadful to watch because it looked like both sides were just happy to come out of there with a point.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. It looked like Guardiola didn't want to go there and lose, and Solskjaer didn't want to go there and lose because Solskjaer was just too afraid to lose that game after what happened. That is, as Mary has already said, one of the worst City teams in the last 5 years. City were afraid. You've seen De Bruyne, obviously, like De Bruyne looked like he was looking around going, where are my other class players? Because everyone else here, it just is below par. We should have won that game. We should have taken it to them and gone with it. I think we did miss Cavani massively. If Cavani's in that game, I think we would have. We could have got something out of it, possibly.
Their centre-backs wouldn't have had an easier ride, I think.
Exactly, and the movement in the box wasn't there from Rashford. But I just, honest to God, I felt like I just wasted 2 hours of my life. Yeah. That's what I felt like after that. I just sat back and watched it. I was watching it, my old man, just thought, this is 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back, because it was one of the worst. It was just a shit game. And it's bad when you're trying to, it's a bad game of football when you're trying to justify, you're like, oh yeah, there were some good passages of play, there was some good defensive play. No, it was shit. It was a 0-0 at home against City when we had a great opportunity to beat City, to shut up the fucking noisy neighbours, and we didn't do it. We didn't take that opportunity. It's just so frustrating. And you see Liverpool dropping points today. You see Spurs dropping points. We win that game. As Saeed has already said, we can genuinely challenge this year because of the way that the table is going, because of the way everyone's performing, everyone's dropping points constantly. We can challenge. That's not out of the question. So why, I don't understand why anyone's accepting the way we performed yesterday. Yeah, all right defensively, but why aren't we winning that game? We're at home against City. We should be trying to win that fucking game. Should be giving everything for it, especially after midweek, going out of the Champions League. Should be no excuses. Every man should be going for that. And
mate, 100%,
it's just devastating.
100% agreement with that, Owen. I mean, Tim, mate, I look at that. You can look at that game as glass half full or glass half empty. And for me, I think the reaction from the likes of Mary, Said and Owen, I think that's glass half full, because they're expecting this United team that we've got here to do more and do better, mate. Because, like I said, we have got probably the deepest squad. I know there are some duck eggs in there. We've spoken about them many a time. But compared to what Owen said there, if Liverpool lose players, and it did look, and they have looked out of sorts, hit and miss, one good week, one bad week, I think that's quite positive, actually, looking at it going, you know what, why didn't we just take that to City there? Because Owen touched on it there. Pep, if I was a City fan, I'd probably be more devastated than a United fan right now. They were there for the taking for me, and I feel like it was just a chance lost, mate, yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think anyone's being negative. First of all, I think that it's reasonable to think that we want to be a bit more courageous and a bit more show a little more urgency, and certainly attacking at home. I understand, the attention to detail sort of in the defensive end of the pitch, because when you look coming into this game, United conceded 11 goals in the last 5 games. They conceded 9 goals in the last 4 games of the Champions League group. City coming into this game has scored 10 goals in the last 5 games and scored 5 goals in the last 2 games. After the formation change at the start of the season, they kind of over the last little while, they've started to figure it out a bit. And I just feel like, and I said last Sunday that, and you guys are absolutely bang on with, it's anybody's league. And especially when you look at the results that happened today, these games, these massive games between the teams that are right there at the top of the table and that group that's starting to separate themselves, they're 6-pointers, like we said last Sunday. And I think that, when you start to look at these games and these teams play each other, you're going to see more and more of these tight games where teams just don't want to give anything away, because they're going to look back at the end of the season and say, these are the games where you won or lost the league. So from that standpoint, is the result terrible? It's not the worst result. Obviously, I'm with you guys. I would have liked to see them be a bit more adventurous and a bit more courageous going forward. Particularly, there was that patch in I think it was the 60 to 70th minute in the second half, where we really dominated the ball and we were trying to shift City side to side, and Fred McTominay got forward into more advanced positions between the lines. And I was just sitting there, I was at the pub, and I was just like, this is exactly where you want Van de Beek. You want to be an operator in those positions. And it wasn't there. But in terms of the result, for me, it's not the end. It's not the end of the world. I'm not.
It's not the end of the world with the result, but we were lucky in the same respect. That is the result.
Dave, you've waited patiently there, mate.
We defended
Going
well,
off what? Sorry,
if it's Aguero, not Jesus.
Cutting you.
No, but I'm sorry. I'm just fucking annoyed. Fucking annoyed. All right,
no, I know, mate. I know. I get you totally, bud. Dave, going off what Owen said there, actually, and what Tim said, some people will look at it and go, oh, we were proven right because Spurs and Liverpool have dropped points today and we've lost no ground on the big two, basically, and we move on to another weekend. But then you look at what Saeed and Mary said, and it's like, well, if we'd have played with no fear, because I think we played with fear yesterday, then we could be right in it and really putting pressure on with that game in hand still, knowing that we've got the worst team in the league coming up on Thursday, a game in hand, and pretty much a point behind or level on points it may have been with both Liverpool and Spurs over a quarter of the way through the season. It's sort of like a statement, mate. But are you sort of like, Tim's not too concerned about it result-wise, we probably would have all taken it at the start, but I looked at it yesterday and my major issue was I didn't expect City to be so bad. So why not use the tools you've got and take advantage of that situation? That's how I seen it, Dave. How do you see it, bud?
Yeah, so something that I think happens in our fan base a lot is that we all kind of wind up in this mental position where it's one or the other. But the reality is that it can be both, right? We can sit back here and we can say, okay, we had a chance to win that game. We should have taken that chance. City's probably sitting back and saying the same thing, by the way.
True.
But yeah, we played negative. It was boring. We should have gone after it. Both of these things can be true at the same time. And it kind of gets under my skin sometimes watching the Twitter interactions where it's like, no, it's this. No, it's this. It can totally be both of those things.
Mm-hmm. Mate, no, 100%. 100%. It's like people on Twitter would then go the opposite way and say, look, you're just making completely no sense. It's one-way traffic. Whereas I like to hear from both sides of it, which is why we mix it up. It's why we try and get as many different people on all of our channels as we possibly can, because difference in opinions. And it's good to hear someone like what Tim said then. He's not particularly as concerned. I know he's a bit frustrated because he really wasted his day at the pub, and today he's back to doing Christmas shopping and the horrible stuff with that horrible game on his mind.
He got away for himself. He had a few pints. He was happy out. Don't worry about him.
No day at the pub's a wasted day. Let's be honest.
No pub.
No.
Well, it depends. If it's a Wednesday, it probably is.
Yeah, but Owen, you go out every night, so it doesn't really matter. You forgot what's going on.
I work 9 to 5 these days. I'm not out every night.
Those 2 pints for me are like 10 for Owen.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
I'm not as bad as you can fucking say. Like, this is bad form,
Owen, you can't hide it. You're a student, mate. There's no hiding.
I'm not. I'm taking a year out. I'm currently working a 9 to 5 job.
No, mate, you're still a student. Sorry, you're out of it. You've had a year out, but you're still a student, mate. So you're still hardcore.
Fair
That's
enough.
it. I mean, in terms of our player performances, I mean, that starting lineup was a surprise for me yesterday, guys. I don't know. I'm going to touch on to Mary's favourite, Mr. Pogba, now, because the fact that he came straight into that team yesterday. How would you feel? I mean, if you was one of them players who was there doing everything that you were supposed to as a professional, not letting certain things go off in the public eye, certain announcements, certain comments being made by people who represent you, who you actually pay to represent you, by the way, and you see Paul Pogba come straight into that team, then how do you feel about that? I mean, Mary, I know you've got a big issue and a big gripe with this from watching what you've said before, but I mean, as a player, sat on that bench knowing that he's just going to walk in whenever he's fit, Paul Pogba, how are you feeling? I know we're going to talk about Donny van de Beek, but it's probably not just Donny van de Beek. I mean, you've got full-on professionals there who have got no chance getting in this team, but you've got a player there who's basically just letting his agent go out saying whatever he wants. And then we had that little bit of a post today on social media, but for me, it just sort of went by the by in a way. It really wasn't relevant to what is actually happening at the moment. But you've got to look at it and go, when all he's got to use this squad, are they really going to turn out for him? Because when the chips are down, he keeps going back to Paul Pogba. I understand his qualities. But at the end of the day, everyone's talking to me saying we got to build for the future. Is Paul Pogba part of this future?
He's probably been our best player in the last few games. Like, he was so good. He was, especially in that first half against City, he was the best player out there. He was. And in the West Ham game, he showed up and he got that goal. I don't think he played particularly well. Came on against Leipzig and was one of our best players in that game as well. But to be honest, what is the point? The player wants to leave. And what I took from that Instagram post was it was very cryptic, but he's saying he's committed, which I respect that. I respect that he'll try and he'll play, and we've seen in the last couple of games he is. But sometimes there's bigger things in football here. There's bigger things than getting a result. There's bigger things. Where is the respect for the football club, the badge, the history, the tradition, the manager, the teammate, the fans? From this player and his agent, there was none. And for me, this is what tipped me into the Ollie out camp, because it's unforgivable for me that a manager can pick this player after, first of all, he waited 5 days before. He absolutely, I mean, his agent went on a madness, and then the player said nothing. The night before our biggest game, he waited 5 days before he came out with a cryptic message. It was, much to do about nothing at that. And then the club ignored it, which was showed our ineptitude and how far we have fallen as a club, that we are letting one player and his agent show they're bigger than the club. And for me, it's supposed to be the morals of this football club that should come before anything else. He should be rotten in the reserves. And I know that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, football has evolved, but at least don't have him playing. Let him train separately and let him hang in there until January. He should be nowhere near the pitch. No, I've told myself yesterday, Mary, don't get angry, don't get vexed. And it's hard for me, as you know. But
you're a cool woman, Mary. You never let your emotions.
At the same time,
you never hide those emotions.
The manager is going to pick him, and if the player is going to show up and do it, and he has done, to be fair to him, in the last couple of games, until he leaves, I have to just accept it, because there's nothing I can do. But for me, it's a disgrace. It really, really is.
Yeah, Strip Bear, cheers for that, mate. Strip Bear with a super. Yeah, totally agree with that. Chelsea have come out. Chelsea have come out this weekend. If they get their result, absolutely laughing. It has been perfect for them. Saeed, mate, what Mary said there, and my biggest issue with this is United today on their website have used Paul Pogba's actual post as their headline instead of being the club coming out and saying something. They're letting a player come out and say what he wants on social media, and then using that post as their headline to say Paul Pogba speaks out. That, for me, is unacceptable. It really is. United should have been first. United should have said to Paul, look, we want to make the announcement. We're not going to just piggyback onto what you're saying from your Instagram account and then put that as the main headline, mate. That, for me, that's probably what's annoying me more than anything, how the club have actually acted in all of this.
It's a tricky one, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily agree with Mary what she's saying. My issue is there's a lot of things going on. I think Man United are desperate. That's why they're almost backing it. You know what I mean? I feel like they're not in a strong position to kind of call Pogba out. And I think Ollie's desperate. I really do. I think Ollie's desperate for results. So he's going to play Paul Pogba in the game against Man City, because for me, I don't know what he doesn't believe in Van der Beek, but you know what I mean? You've got to feel sorry for Van der Beek. You got to look at this and you're thinking, it's all a mess at the minute. And I feel like for me, when I look at it, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'd rather play Paul Pogba. If he wants to play and he says he gives his all, and like he did against the Manchester Derby, and he's giving his all, he is an asset to Man United. And Man United need to play him. You know what I mean? They're not going to get 50, 60 million if they put him on the bench. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to be like, you know what? It's not in the greatest of form. You know what I mean? Juventus are not going to see him as an asset. And Man United are doing this as a business, commercial, whatever you want to call it. They're doing this for business reasons. And that is what this football is, man. We are a commercial club. You know what I mean? Woodward is probably thinking this for. He's probably not thinking about the football reasons. He's thinking, right, what can I do to get the best deal out of this possible? And his mugging is off again. You know what I mean? And I just feel like Edward should have sorted this out. You know what I mean? Should have been a DOF. The bigger picture is, Man United need a DOF and to sort this mess out. I understand Pogba has hurt a lot of people, but maybe, and I'm trying to put two sides of the story, maybe Raiola and whoever it is, By the way, Raiola is an absolute disgrace here. But maybe Raiola and Pogba, I've been talking to Woodward for so many times, and the message has not been clear. And he's thought, you know what, I'm going to put this out. You know what I mean? Pogba should have not said that. I should not have told Raiola to do it. But there's a lot of issues going on. We don't know what's behind the story. We don't know what's behind the scene. There could be a lot of contract negotiation. There could be this and that. And he's probably thought, you know what, forget it. I just look at it and I think, Raiola should not have said it. Pogba should not have said it. But if Pogba is willing to give his all for this football club here, and is willing to put the passion in, put the work in, and put that performance, Leipzig, West Ham, second half, then you know what, mate? I'd rather have that year than us losing the game. That's the problem, man. You know, we can't have both sides, can we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my kind of opinion on that.
That's it, mate. I think, like the comments are saying, like Said said there, if Pogba comes on and plays well, Tim, then I think we're all okay with that. But what we got to look at is to the detriment of what players who can't get in the team. We are destroying Donny van der Beek's career right now because when he does get a chance to come in and play, then the pressure is immense. He has to perform straight away, and he's under pressure. He's not given any time or any game time to actually find his feet. He's just been thrown into the odd game, and then if you don't play well, then you're coming off at half time like he did, or you're not playing the next game. That's how bad it is with him. And if Pogba's good and he comes out now and says, I'm committing my future, then I think he'll put it all to bed. But the problem you've got is Paul Pogba not coming out, his agent saying that he's definitely going, then how is this affecting them other players? Because they know that Van der Beek knows he has to perform as soon as he comes in.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think I don't think we ever really got a clear answer from Terry when we asked him the question how it would affect players in the dressing room. But give me a second, mate.
Man down. Owen, take that one away, mate. There. I mean, in terms of Van der Beek now, his confidence is obviously low. He's got to come in and hit the ground running every time he gets a chance. I just think he's been treated unfairly in all of this. And if Pogba did come out and say, I'm committing my future, then I don't think any player in that team would have an issue. But what can they say right now, mate? It's a case of I've got to take my chance when I come. If I don't have the best of games, then I might have to wait another 3 games.
I mean, I was just kind of enraged today after I seen the Pogba post when United reshared his photo on Instagram with in the red corner. And look, you know, Mary's spoke about it as well, and it's just you know, in terms of rotting in the reserves, I don't agree to that level, but all 6 of us would do anything to put on that red shirt and walk out Old Trafford. And I think there's millions around the world that would exactly do the same. Tim's daughter's joined in there, but I'm sure she would as well. But like, it's like I just don't understand like why it's being allowed, like why he's getting special treatment. Look, he's obviously a fantastic talent, but I feel like the Sky Sports pundit have hit the nail on the head in terms of he's had one amazing game in 8. Really and truly, since he's been at United, he does turn it on like he did at City at the Etihad. But you know, it's not consistent enough, and he hasn't done it consistently for us in the 4 years that he's been at United. So he doesn't deserve any fucking special treatment. He doesn't deserve to be given this. You know, this. You know, as Mary said, he had waited 5 days after his agent had come out and said that. So after the derby, let alone the game midweek. If you are disagreeing with what your agent has come out and said against you, you should come out straight away and go, no, do you know, I'm 100% committed to this club. And if you actually read into that, you know, into that fucking post and into what he's said, he's basically said, in a way, if you properly look at it, it's kind of like, I'm committed, but I'm committed because I've got a contract. That's what it feels like to me. He's committed to the club while he's contracted to the club. And I feel like I feel like his form is having a downturn, and I feel like he's doing a bit of an Adebayor and playing to try and get somewhere else and to try and get a contract somewhere else. I don't think he's 100% committed to the club. And look, I hope he plays well while he plays for us, but I don't think he should be. I think there are players more deserving of it. I think Donny is way more deserving of a chance. His confidence is shot to bits because Ollie has just used him sparingly, or you know, the odd game here and there, and he's obviously started to get more of a role in the starting 11. But in terms of like Pogba, it's just a shit show, man. And I just think it has been for 2 or 3 years now with Pogba, and I just think it just, as Claude once says, it's time to go. Like, it's just
time to go.
Like, I mean, there's talk about that Ronaldo.
I think you got to look at the manager as well.
Swap, though,
I don't know about that, but in terms of, I don't think we're going to get a fair price for him otherwise. So I don't think Dybala's what we need, but
I don't know where to go. I mean, Dave, we're looking at this situation here now, mate. I mean, what would Pogba have to sort of do to convince you that he is what we need and can actually have a place in this team and at this club? Is there any way back for him from what's happened?
It's over. It's over. Like, and it makes me sad. Like, I've said it before. You guys know. Like, I have family in France. Paul Pogba's been my favorite United player of this era. It's over. Like, it has to be over. And I have a conceptual issue with some of the stuff. Like, Saeed, mate. Like, I hear you, bro. I hear what you're saying, and you know, if we're playing Football Manager, you're right, because you can get something out of that guy, and you can get goals, and you can get assists, and you can get a good performance. But we all sit back here and we talk about it every week on Twitter, in our group chats. We all talk about the culture, the soul of Manchester United, and what are we really talking about when we say that? We're talking about, in large part, what Sir Alex did here. Sir Alex would never have that. Sir Alex would have had him training privately 2 weeks ago, and you'd never see him again. And if that meant that they got 30 million instead of 50 million, so freaking be it. And I've got a problem when we sit here and we want the aura back, right? We want Ollie out because he's not playing and he doesn't have a style and his tactics, and we want Poch or we want Mourinho or we want all these things because we want to go back to the way it was with Sir Alex. Playing Paul Pogba ain't getting us back there.
No, I mean, Tim, I'll come to you now. You've up sticks.
So you got to look at the club then, haven't you? Then you know what I mean? It's like
I'm going to ask Tim what Saeed just said there. It crossed over with what Dave said there. I mean, Dave's pretty much right in terms of a lot of fans and how we're thinking, but like
I'm not
Saeed said,
anybody, by the way. That's just my opinion.
No. It's like Saeed said then, though, Tim.
Say that. Both sides.
Is Ollie that desperate for his job that he's playing, Paul Pogba? Is it a case of Ollie is in charge of this situation right now, Tim? Is it down to him more than it is Paul Pogba actually coming out and saying things? Because he, in the end, the book falls with him, it drops with him, and he has the final say. So all Pogba can do is play because he's picked.
Yeah.
So is it all down to Ollie, or is it like Dave said there, and Dave's clearly said there that he loves Paul Pogba, he's been his favourite player, and it's a lot of United fans who think that, but right now, again, it was the summer before last, and the Chinese interview, he wants to go.
Yeah.
Now his agent's saying there's no hope for him, he can't express himself in the team. What does that do to his teammates? Because they would have seen that. He mentioned the word team there, his agent, and is he slagging off the rest of the team? Is it just the manager? And then the manager's picking Paul Pogba? It's total mixed signals, mate.
Yeah, it's a mess, and I think just the way this has gone on for a bit now with Riola and his comments, but
Tim,
you can see, did everyone? Someone needs to clip that one. Did you see Tim's teeth?
I'm gonna get my point in, and then I'm going back to you.
A Roy Keane face going on there. A little bit of a Roy Keane rage. It was like Roy Keane looking at Harry Arter on the treatment bench.
I just seen Tim go halfway around his whole house just to get a quiet spot, and then bang! As soon as he opens his mouth, and then that is it. The Roy Keane face came out there. I think I can see a vein popping out the side of your head, mate.
I knew this was a bad idea. Look, I think here's the thing. All right.
All right, Tim, I'll leave you to it, mate. You just carry on there. I'm sure she just shouted Pogba then, Tim's daughter. I'm sure it was Pogba.
So Martin Tyler-esque.
Cheers, Tim, mate. I think we did. Tim, sometimes it just does not work. It does not work. I mean, guys, Pogba's taking over everything that is United related at the moment. There are there are plenty of good things going on at the moment. I mean, we got to look at it and go, okay, that team yesterday, we all think we could have done better at it, but what could we have changed yesterday? That question's been asked many a times to me over there. Who would you have changed? What positions would you have changed in there? I know mine. I'm just going to ask you guys now because we want to see this squad used by Ollie. We want to see the best team possibly out there. That team yesterday, it didn't look defensive, but then played defensive. The team that went out against Leipzig looked defensive and was garbage in defence. Mary, I'll come to you first on it, actually. I mean, what changes would you have made to that team yesterday to make that better?
Not McFred. Like, come on, we're at home.
McFred.
McFred.
That sounds like a shit burger from McDonald's.
And you know, like, that just says it all. He can't pass forward. He passes sideways, he passes backwards. He can't be the link between the midfield and the defence. That is Donny van der Beek to a T. He needs to play. Also, like, in attack, we did miss Cavani and like we were unlucky. But I want to see Palestri. He scored again in the under-23s. Oh. Give him a chance. Like, I mean, nobody has taken that right wing and made it their own. Nobody knows about this kid. We're all about giving kids a chance, bringing them in. Ollie's spouting about it since he came in. He's played none of them this season. Play Palestri, give him a shot. I'd love to see him against Sheffield United. Donny has to start it against Sheffield United. He absolutely does. And then he was playing Bruno on the left. He was shifting him over on the right. Play him in one position and keeping their Ollie. What are you doing? Also, I would like to see Axel come in. It's about time. We've conceded 17, 18 goals in the league this season so far. Another 10 in the Champions League. Give a fast defender a chance. Bailly has been fit for a month. Why are you playing Maguire and Lindelof every single week in, week out? Like, come on, some changes need to be made, so especially when they're not grabbing it by the... I thought Maguire played well yesterday, but at the same time, you're going to run him into the ground and they're conceding all over the place. Donny, Palestri and Axel for me on Thursday night.
Nice. Everyone who is watching, obviously, do hit that like button as well, guys. Let's get the likes up. They are booming tonight, so... do hit that like button and share the video as well. Let's get a few more opinions because some of your comments have been bang on the money today. Said I'm going to come to you with this one, mate. I mean, McTominay and Fred, I thought a lot of people have come up with McTominay actually being one of our better players yesterday. I didn't think he was horrendous, mate.
Second half, yeah.
There's good, and then there's the next level. Is that am I right in saying that there? I mean,
yeah.
I understand Ferguson did it with Phil Neville, Nicky Butt in the derbies all the time and everything like that. I understand all of that. And I didn't think McTominay played. I thought he played to the best of his ability yesterday. I thought he was solid.
Yeah.
But for changing things for you, I mean, I know mine. I'm going to say what mine is when everyone's done. But what would you have made different yesterday? What would you have changed up, mate?
I think first of all, we needed more risk. You know what I mean? We needed more emphasis to go forward, and that's probably the biggest one of them all. In terms of personnel, see, McTominay had a good second half. First half, I think he looked shaky. Second half, it was colossus. You know what I mean? He kept the ball. You know what I mean? He tried to do things. You know what I mean? It was solid. But the problem is, that's not Man United, is it? No, that's not Man United. What they're based on? Man United are based on risk. Man United are based on talent. Man United are based on showing something. You know what I mean? Not just playing the ball and playing it safe. Showing something what you got. And I feel like for me, he should have changed McTominay maybe and kind of risked it with Van der Beek going forward maybe. Then you could have kept Fred as a holding and try and do something there. And a lot of people saying, oh, well, then you would have lost the game. But do you know what, mate? Like, if you're going to win this title and we're going to win, like, we're going to try and go forward, then you got to do it. This is an unprecedented time. We have, well, obviously we don't have no fans and whatnot, but it's like, you know, things have changed this season. You know what I mean? Chelsea are starting to look all right. They lost yesterday. Liverpool, no centre-backs. You've got to try and trade something. And I thought, up front, I would have took off Rashford. I don't know what he did taking off Greenwood. I thought Greenwood was all right, you know. I thought he tried to get into the play. Rashford, for me, I don't know what's going on lately.
I agree with that.
He's had a good season so far. I'm not going to knock him yet, but yesterday he looked knackered, man. He looked like a player that's lost ideas. I would have tried to change him, but then you're looking at, you got Mato, Igalo, you got James. All these players then on the bench here, you know what I want to question? I was thinking, what are they there for? You might as well just get, you know what all you should just do, yeah, right, who am I going to play every game? So I'm going to probably get one of Martial or Greenwood off the bench. Okay, I'm probably going to get Matic. You might as well just pick them two or come off the bench because the rest of them, they never get a game. And I'm like, what's going on? Look, if United are not 2-0 down, that's the reason why Ollie changes. But if United are in the game and they're coasting around, Ollie rarely, you know what I mean, tries to change it tactically. So I just feel like for me, the biggest one is just be more braver and try and go for it more. Do you know what I mean?
That's it, mate. That's it. I mean, Owen, mate, what would you have changed today, mate, specifically?
I mean, in terms of Rashford, I said it before, like on fan cams and stuff, and I really think I'm scared in terms of Rashford. In terms of, I don't think he's been fully fit for over a year, and I think we're just playing him because Ollie is just scared to play without him, and he needs to be rested. And I'm afraid that what's going to happen to Rashford is the same what's happened to Rooney. He's going to burn out by his early 30s because we're just going to play him and play him and play him and play him until he's burnt out. He will never. He's much like us, a fan will put on the jersey whenever he's called upon and whenever he's half all right. But he needs to be rested. You can tell he's just not fit. He hasn't been himself. He hasn't been playing to the ability that he is capable of, and he needs a rest. That is the be all and end of it. He needs to be rested. He needs to be taken out of the side for a couple of games. There's no two ways about it.
Do you feel like Ollie's a bit rigid with his formation? That's why he don't take Rashford out of that team.
I think Ollie just has his favourites and just will not drop anyone else.
That, yeah.
I hate it because he just won't drop anyone. Like in terms of McTominay, I see a lot of similarities between McTominay and Fletcher. Like a good player to have in our squad. Don't get me wrong. I think he'll do a job for us in a lot of games. And as a squad player, I think is completely sound. But I don't think he should be someone we were relying upon to start in the midfield every week. Like Darren Fletcher wasn't. Like when he did play quite well. But it was picked and Fergie picked and chose his games. He's just not. He's not someone we should be relying upon. Shaw did all right, but in terms of that Mahrez chance, that was terrible defending from him. And he should be on his man there. And I would have started. Yeah, that is probably a bit disrespectful to Fletch, but I would have started Tellez yesterday. Personally, I think Tellez is.
I think he's gone going forward.
Now. Yeah, I think now Shaw's. Yeah, that was what my fear was. I think now Shaw's back, we're not going to see him.
No, we're not going to see Tellez again, and I think majority of United fans are in the boat of they'd like to see Tellez starting every game. Like, I think Tellez is our best left back, and going forward should be starting most games. And I think Wan-Bissaka didn't have the worst of games yesterday, but I think I don't know. I think letting Dalot go probably might be a mistake because I think Dalot probably was our second best right back, and Wan-Bissaka needs to be rested or needs to know that there's someone up his arse gunning for his position because I feel like he is now in the boat of my position is safe regardless of how my performance is on the pitch. I feel like he might be slipping into that boat, and I feel like he needs someone to be chasing him down because as much as we all love Timbo, I don't think he's a competent Man United right back going forward. So I feel like letting Dalot go might be a mistake because I feel like Wan-Bissaka is getting a bit complacent now.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, is Ollie like a fan? Is he playing it like a fan? Because comments before the derby was, I'm sure we will be ready. For me, that wound me up. Is he playing the players that the fans actually like and love? I just don't understand how he picks them. I don't see how he picks a player who's so badly out of form ahead of someone else who's not even been given a chance. I mean, how would you have mixed it up yesterday, Dave? I mean, there's surely players there that could have come in and played for the likes of Rashford, like the guys and Mary was saying there. I mean, we know about Van der Beek and how much you like Van der Beek. How would you have changed it yesterday, mate?
I mean, the first thing is I would have played Donny. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Donny. But in terms, because we all get confused when we see the team sheets, and it's like every game, right? It's like, wait a second, what does he do in this game? What is he doing? What's with this decision? What's with this lineup? He's changing the tactics. He's changing the formation. But there's a calculus there that I think gets lost. Our squad has, from my perspective, two major problems. Number one, you have a central defensive pairing that needs to be protected, right? You have to play two CDMs to protect them, and they suck in the fullbacks. So by default, no matter what you do, you have to start with a formation that's going to take care of your two slow center backs. And I'm not even having a shot at them, because I love having a shot at Harry. I'm not having a shot at Harry. I think with a fast center back to pair with Harry, I think Harry is actually a much better player. But the two of them together, it doesn't work. So you're already stuck with two fullbacks that are helping to support them, and two holding midfielders that are helping to support them. So that already puts you at a disadvantage going forwards. Then you have a right back who can't go forwards. And yet we spent the whole summer talking about buying an expensive right winger so that you don't have that problem anymore. Well, we didn't do that either. So you've got nothing going on down the right, and you've got a central defensive pairing that needs protecting. That plays to the calculus of the entire decision-making process of every formation in every game. And until those two problems are solved, I hate to break it to you guys, but it ain't going to get better.
No, I mean, it's hard to disagree, mate. It really is, because that does seem to come into it. How I would change it, and I'm looking at this from a defender's point of view, because I was. But, but yeah, I would... David De Gea, out you go. I'm sorry. It's time. Yeah. It's not about a goalkeeper that makes.
Yeah, but would Dino not have kept us in it? Like,
no, the thing is,
I think Dino's capable of making that.
Oh, and it's not about keeping us in it, mate. It's not about keeping us in it anymore. It's about what Dave just said there. We're protecting a defense which is shaky. Man, these guys can defend. If you've got a goalkeeper behind you which commands that box, which comes and claims crosses, which talks to defenders, which can play a bit more of a sweeper keeper, passes the ball better, that completely takes having to make last-ditch saves and look good on paper out of the equation completely. And this is the whole thing I was going on at people about De Gea. What's he done wrong? He saved us the last 4 seasons. Yeah, well, the defence is shot to shit because they're not confident about what's behind him. He's going to make saves, and it's going to make him look better than what he is.
Wait a minute, Adam. Come on, I gotta jump on that for 1 second.
Shoot.
Let's talk about that third goal on Wednesday then. Okay? Because if you're telling me that De Gea needs to talk and De Gea needs to tell him where he is, and De Gea needs to come out and be a keeper sweeper, and your defenders know that that's the case, then why isn't Harry attacking the shit out of that ball?
And likewise, as a goalkeeper, if you're the last line of defence,
why isn't he?
Why aren't you finishing?
Cliver?
Why aren't you finishing Cliver? He turned his back. This is not.
He's not going to talk to you. You have to go attack the ball.
You've said it all there, Dave. You said it all there. Which defensive partnership? Well, De Gea has been in goal, has worked for United. Let's take Vidic and Ferdinand out of this equation. Yeah? What's the common denominator for every single defence we've had since Ferdinand and Vidic has gone? And De Gea is world class at shot stopping. I haven't got an issue with that. The defence makes mistakes. Sometimes De Gea looks weak like he did on that third goal. Yeah. And I went in on him, and I went in on Maguire. Believe me, because Maguire made the first... No. Victor Lindelof made the first mistake. Pogba made the second mistake. Maguire made the third, and then De Gea, there's your full house right there. So where is the confidence?
Team, you're an 80 million pound center back. You're the captain of the team. Attack that ball.
Yeah, 80 million.
It's inexcusable to me.
He's not an 80 million pound player. I think
he isn't an 80 million pound. We all know that.
We all know he's. The only reason he's 80 million pounds because he's English.
Do you start like a lot of people are saying now? Come on, Adam, look to the future. Well, the future for me isn't De Gea anymore.
No, I agree.
The future is let's try and build something else. Maybe another goalkeeper behind these players. Can you imagine Peter Schmeichel behind Lindelof and Maguire? Man, they'd be scared shitless to make a mistake. Do you know what I mean? They'd be screwed on to every single. But if you don't come off a pitch as a centre back without a headache, you haven't done your job. You need to be switched on thinking 24/7. And these guys are not. Yesterday, played right into our hands, and they looked decent yesterday because City were toothless. Let's be honest. They were absolutely garbage. For me, it starts with Henderson, and then let's build a defence around that, because I think we've looked quite solid when Henderson's been in, and he hasn't had the run of games yet. Will Ollie even give him a chance for us to properly judge him? I don't think he will, because then, like you guys have all said, he's got his favourites. And this is the problem that you've got. That defence should not need defending, like Dave said. He shouldn't pick his favourites, like Owen said. Meret not using the squad, 100%. You've got players there in positions that we are struggling in. Saeed there have the bottle to actually play some of the bench. Take out Rashford, who is playing with an injury and is at risk of really losing his career. He was at risk of it last time, but for lockdown, we wouldn't have seen Rashford to the end of last season. We shouldn't have. But this is the problem I've got, is he's got to be able to go, right, Dave, you've been great, but I need to change something now. He needs to start thinking, look, I'm Manchester United manager. These guys are going to have to lump it. I'm making a decision now and these guys are playing, because I tell you what, you've got a keeper there who thinks he's the best in the world. I've never heard De Gea come out once and say that. I want someone on that pitch like Bruno who's confident in his own ability and isn't scared to make a mistake. I don't take that into the goalkeeping situation. I just think Henderson talks a lot of confidence, and I want that in my goalkeeper. I don't see confidence in De Gea.
Now listen, I'm with you, but
soon as you put a ball into that box, are you confident that he's going to come and claim it?
Henderson nearly got the Golden Glove last season with John Egan. Like I love.
Yeah, look at him now.
He's not a top level centre half, and and Jack O'Connell. Tell me that he couldn't do it with, as you were saying, Maguire and Lindelof. I think he can completely improve that. But I do not think he is getting dropped.
Are we all agreed that our defence is the issue, innit? Our defence is hampering our game.
Two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. Yes, Henderson helps get you there. But it's not enough because the two of them are too slow together.
You have to change.
You want to change it,
Do you bring in, like Mary says, do you bring in Axel with Henderson to start 100%. Working together from the start?
Yeah, I think so.
Rather than, because I'd say Axel's got no bad habits. Like
I agree.
Like Maguire and Lindelof have right now. Is he brave enough, Saeed, to go Axel, Henderson?
No.
Playing the worst team in the league this Thursday.
He won't do it.
Take this moment and do it. Is that the ultimate problem, that he's not brave enough to do it?
For his job. If Ollie takes out Maguire, that team, and then they lose to Sheffield United, all the people will be like, why did he change? He's not brave enough. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not brave enough to take off De Gea, one of the long-serving players at his football club. He's not brave enough to either drop one of the midfielders that he favours. He can't do it, guys, and that's, for me, is the ultimate decision. He won't play Kwan Martin. He don't play Daniel James ever this season. He won't do it. You can say he's not good enough, but you know these guys are playing for Man United Football Club. These guys have signed. You know these guys are getting a wage for free. When the owners look at it, they'll be like, "Why didn't you try this player, Rio? You know what I mean? Why didn't you try something?" He'll be like, "You know what? I didn't want to do it. I wasn't brave enough to do it." And that is the problem. And ultimately, Harry Maguire or Lindelof, for me, either one of them should be dropped. Okay, Twan Zabi. Are you telling me you can't get in that defense? One game, buy it.
Yeah.
Can't you get in one game?
If he doesn't play him against Sheffield, he's never playing him.
That's
as simple as. Because they're the worst team in the league, and if you're not confident enough to bring in one of those players against probably what is going to be one of the worst teams in Premier League history, they've got 1 point from 11 games. If you're not confident enough to bring in Axel or even Mengi for that matter, you are never going to bring
Carabao Cup. Owen, Carabao Cup. Yeah, I'm telling you now. Yeah, it'll be probably a similar team to what we got right now. Carabao Cup, Everton. I'll tell you that, mate.
Trophy.
You can't do it. You can't do it. When you take out them players,
we can't do it at home, lads. We can't fucking win a game at home. We're playing at home.
Again, guys.
Can't win a game at home for love nor money.
Listen, if Ollie turns around, that's why I always say, Europa League, will show the worst in Ollie, because if he takes out Bruno Rashford, I'm telling you now, we're going to get embarrassed because we rely heavily on them two. Without them two, mate, United are screwed. United are screwed without them two.
I want him to take every
Show
single
me.
one
Look, we
of them
played
out.
half of that at West Ham. It was one of the worst halves of football United have played in however long. And the second they're brought on, we win the game 3-1.
This is it.
For the second
So,
I know it is.
I mean, Mary, I'll ask you the question. Do you think he's got a plan without Bruno and Rashford?
No, he doesn't even have a plan with him. Like, let's be honest. He
telling you.
doesn't. It's what,
Oh my
like
God.
Saeed says it, Ollie Gunnar freestyle. We're a counter-attacking team, and if a team sits back and
Do you think that's what Pep was thinking yesterday? Do you think Pep was smart yesterday and thought, you know what, these guys are going to make a mistake. This is how we beat them, because he struggled against us, but it didn't work for him in the end. If they had Aguero,
well, it could have, because if
possibly.
that Vara's chance.
If Aguero's got that chance instead of Jesus, they win.
Yeah.
If we came out, guys, and we came out to challenge City, I'm telling you now, City would have won that game 3-0. But that's the problem. We're in a stopgap here. We're in a precarious position. We can't go forward without losing something, and that's the problem with Ollie. He's learned after one of the best managers of all time, Mr. Ferguson. Risk take, attack. He can't do it, and I'm like, so what's your manager beliefs? What do you want as a manager? You know what I mean? And that's the problem. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't brave enough as a manager. He can't do it.
So, I mean, looking at how he's using his squad right now, which is very, well, he's hardly doing it. Look at Martial's when he came on yesterday. He didn't look right. He didn't look like he was raring to go there to prove a point to get his spot back. Has Ollie given these players enough hunger? Is he giving them enough on the training ground to say you have to do so much to get in this team? Because them players are looking at it now going, don't matter what I do on this training ground, I don't think I'm going to get in this team. I don't think I'm going to make it, because they could be training and doing everything that he says, and it still doesn't work. I mean, Ollie's comment after the game yesterday, I left it alone on Twitter because I knew I was going to get an absolute meltdown if I commented on it, but that was the best performance we have had against Manchester City. I'm sure we beat them 3 times last season, and you know what? I think them performances were decent. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
So if he says that that's the best performance that we have had against Manchester City, that for me confirms that he went out to get a draw. Am I right in thinking that? I think
yeah, you're bang on. But he said he was going to win against Leipzig. He clearly wasn't.
He got him mixed up, didn't he? He got him mixed up, didn't he?
Mate, honestly, like, you know how much I've tried to support Ollie the whole time, and it's now coming to a point where you're looking at it and just saying, like, there's no plan there, and I don't think sacking him right now is the right idea, and because I don't think a manager coming in is going to make a whole pile of difference. I really think at the end of the season he'll probably walk, and you know, Pochettino or Allegri will come in. I think that's the most likely outcome of what happens.
I would sack him right now.
But Mary, they're not going. They don't have the fucking bottles to do it.
And I would have said, you weren't brave in the Manchester Derby, get out. And we got knocked out from leading 1 point from 6. Being top of this Champions League group until the very fucking last game. I would have handed him his P45 and said, thanks, Ollie. Thanks for trying. See you later. Not good enough, boy.
Yeah, but then people would say...
Here's the problem. Mary, you are right. Okay, Mary, you're right. I have defended Ollie on this show for a couple of months now, and it's time. The man's got to go. So let's be real clear about it.
Even Dave's gone.
Guys gotta go. However,
what's going on? You know it's fucked then, don't
however,
like, seriously, come on.
This is the really important.
Go on, Dave.
This is the really critical part. Because once again, the theme of the day is 2 things can be true at the same time. Ollie needs to go, but things are not going to get better. Because what you've got here is a situation where Ed Woodward and the board and the Glazers are looking at it. And Saeed, I'm sorry, mate, but you were wrong. The board is not looking at this and they're saying, oh, well, why didn't you try to play this guy? No, the board is sitting here saying, oh, look at that. We're about 5 points off top. Everything's great because they don't understand football.
Right, guys.
Yeah.
That's it. There, we had to get a Mary rant before we finished, and we had to get a Dave microphone blast. before we finished as well. But guys,
as well. Don't forget.
That's it. An hour and 4 minutes. Tim's gritting his teeth at his kids. Mary's losing the plot. She's on the gin. Dave, I don't know. I think he's just unsalvageable. Saeed's cold. Owen needs a beer. And on that note, I think we are going to...
I'm dying for a Guinness here.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but Owen did have a toilet sort of meltdown halfway through the show there. So yeah,
I didn't have a toilet meltdown. I needed a gypsy.
Several times.
A gypsy.
Gypsies. That's the
Gypsy's
one.
kiss.
Yeah, love it. All right, guys, that's it. We're done for the show. All the super chats, all the comments in there. Everyone who's joined us on both platforms, thanks for tuning in. Give the video a like, share the video, hit that subscribe button if you're watching for the first time, guys. And before we go, Dave, just give the people a shout out to your socials where they can catch you building that Olympic Marseille model.
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and shortly growing my YouTube channel to show how I build these things. I am at Stadiums for Ants. Thank you very much. And I want to make a really quick announcement. I'm going to do a limited run Old Trafford miniature models. Get at me on Twitter. I'm only going to make 4 of them.
Nice one. Check it out, people. It is fully legit as well. We've seen them. And we've announced winners on this show as well for them. They are brilliant.
Proudly.
Mary, She Devils United going strong. You on tonight at 9 again?
No, I was on earlier on.
So you did an early shin.
Check it out. She Devils United were on the road to 4K.
That's it. Get on it, guys. Owen.
Yeah.
Mate. Hit them with the socials. Hit them down the pub, mate. The 16th, we're back out in the pub, mate, aren't we, up here? Are you down 16th. In London? Sorry.
We're all out in London. It's tier 2. I'm having a baked potato with my pints
up.
These days.
Ignore him.
Baked potato, wow.
We've got to have a substantial meal. That's what we're having. But Courtney Red 99 on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the whole lot. I'm at 86 subs. I would love to get to 100. If you want to see a bit more of my ugly mug, your beautiful faces, it'd be lovely if you just subscribe to it. Get me to 100 before Christmas. That'd be fucking brilliant. Thank you very much.
Get on it, guys. Get on it. Saeed, my man, it's United Central, as everybody knows, but just give it. Tell them again, mate. Tell them again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being on, as always, mate. United Central on YouTube. And yeah, man, big up everybody in the show. Big up the audience.
That's it. That's it, guys. Everyone has been on it tonight, and it's been a great chat, I must admit. There's been plenty of, I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't know. This week could bring us anything. It really could. And if we lose, and we are the first club to lose to Sheffield United, then God help this fan base.
Weren't we the first club to lose to Watford last season? So I don't think that's a good omen.
And that was right on Christmas as well, Owen.
Yeah, I was at the game. I couldn't even get a ticket in the away end. Had to sit in the home end. And some fat cunt lived beside me, mate. Honestly.
All right.
If we lose the Leeds, I'm going to build a model of Ellen Road and set it on fire.
Wow.
I want to see that. That video will go viral.
There is some rage here, man.
That will go viral. Guys, we are out of here. Thank you very much. I will see you in the week.
Peace.
There's plenty going on, and hopefully, we just need a bit of good news now, don't we? Going into Christmas. Please, United, give us something. I'll see you in a week, people. Bye-bye.